Last week, a registered dietitian told me canola oil is perfectly safe to cook with. But if that's true, why does the internet hate it so much? I'm traveling to Portage la Prairie to visit a canola farm during planting season to find out what exactly is canola, why do people distrust it, and should we actually be afraid of cooking with it? I'm a professional chef. I went to culinary school, I've spent years working with ingredients, and somehow I've never actually been to a farm, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. The people we trust to cook our food, talk about food, even teach food, often have no idea how that food is actually grown. Nita Sharda, a local registered dietitian, assured me that canola oil is considered safe by major health organizations around the world. And her professional recommendation is that it can be a part of a balanced diet. But if that's true, why are so many people suddenly afraid of it? I wanted to hear from someone who actually grows it. Before meeting Nicola, I'll admit something. Part of me expected big industrial agriculture. But this, like most farms in Canada, is a third-generation family farm run by Nicola, her dad, and her brother.
Hello. Hi George, I'm Nicola.
Nicola, nice to meet you.
Welcome to Ronald Farms.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, George, I hear you have some questions about canola.
I do, and some of them might be silly questions or dumb questions. It's my first time in a place like this, and it'll be very interesting for me to see the beginnings of the canola oil.
Absolutely. Well, do you know what? I think if I was in your kitchen, I would probably have some dumb questions too. So I've got some seed in the shop. Do you want to come see it?
Absolutely. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Hello Canola. They helped make this visit possible. Nicola, like most other canola growers in the province, is a member of the Manitoba Canola Growers, and she serves on their board of directors. For more stories direct from Manitoba's farms, subscribe.
You can grab some if you want to hold it.
This is not what I expected.
It's bright blue.
Yeah. Very cool. You've said air seeder a few times, and I'm
Yes.
just imagining we're going to get in a plane and just drop seeds over a field.
No, it's called an air seeder because it uses air to move the seeds through the system.
It's definitely I think the biggest wheel I've ever stood next to.
Oh, I think we'll see some bigger ones today.
Oh yeah? Okay. Everything is a lot bigger than I expected. Okay. So these look like some kind of storage
Yes,
containers.
they are. These are grain bins.
Okay.
But what we can do is, even if we just crush them with a little roller, you'll see the canola oil come out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's that easy to turn this seed. It's got those oils naturally present right under the surface.
Yeah, it's about half of this by volume is oil.
Okay, so what is this beautiful piece of equipment?
This is a sprayer. This is a high clearance sprayer.
Okay, and you say sprayer, so that is spraying chemicals, correct?
It is.
It's something I've seen online. People are worried about what chemicals are actually going in the canola.
Yeah, this is the tool that we use to spray our fields with chemicals. And it's an important part of managing the crop because if there's weeds growing, it's going to take nutrients, water, even sunlight away from the plants and limit what they can produce. So it's really waste in kind of an indirect way. And the amounts that we're applying are both really precise and actually a pretty small amount. So a CFL sized football field is about 2 acres. And to cover that amount, it would be about like 2 soda cans of chemical.
Really diluted down.
It is, yes.
It's important to know because, yeah, people are worried about scary chemicals, but this is just enough chemicals to keep the crop safe itself.
It is, and actually a lot of the chemicals we work with themselves, the chemicals themselves are actually very safe. Probably like in your kitchen, different things have different risk levels to them. But the chemical that we spray canola with is one of the least toxic herbicides we use. It actually has a similar toxicity to coffee. And there's a lot of regulation in Canada about which chemicals we can use, what rates we use them at, how close to when the crop is harvested we use them. And so we're always monitoring the crop, and we only spray when it's needed and when it's helpful to the crop too. Because we'll know, say, just because we have an insect pest present, it doesn't actually mean that it's a threat to the crop. For most farmers, we've had generations and like we grew up on this land, and so it's in our heart, and it's very important for us to take care of it. And you know, I want my kids to be able to farm, and so I have to take care of this. It's in your blood when you grow up on the farm. But even if I was like completely soulless, it cost me money to spray. So I wouldn't do it if I didn't need to.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really important for consumers to know. It is safe, it's regulated, it's used as necessary. Okay, we've seen some equipment. I'm dying to get to the field.
That's where the action is today, so we should head out there.
Sounds good, let's go. Okay, so we've now pulled one of those little seeds out of the ground.
Yeah.
And I'll ask the simple question, what is canola?
So canola is an oil seed crop. You probably use canola oil in your kitchen.
Every day?
Yeah, and it was actually developed right here in Manitoba.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a crop that farmers love to grow because it was developed here. It's really well suited to our environment, and it gives us lots of benefits in the field too.
Wonderful. And canola is, I've heard, a genetically modified organism.
Yes, it is.
Sounds a bit scary, but what does that mean?
So genetically modified or genetic engineering really just refers to kind of the most recent kind of up-to-date technology that they have for breeding.
Right.
And it allows breeders to be a lot more precise in the traits that they're developing in crops. And for farmers, it gives us like very resilient plants. They're very tough. They produce a lot of grain. Lots of canola oil can come off of this field because of the breeding technology that they have.
So it's making them stronger, more efficient. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And a GMO, does it mean that it's unhealthy? Does it mean that it's bad for you to consume?
No, it's actually the product at the end of the day. So there is non-GMO canola. We've grown some from time to time on the farm. But if you were to look at those seeds like at a molecular level, or if you were to take the oil that comes from them, it's actually identical. GMO just refers to the types of tools that breeders are using to develop the seed.
So GMO, totally safe for consumption. What about the environment? Does it have any effect on the environment?
It's actually very positive for the environment.
Okay.
So with GMO breeding technology, they've been able to develop plants like canola that are, you know, for example, in canola, something they've been going after is heat tolerance. They can make it tolerate some of the hotter weather. We've been getting better. Another trait that's been really helpful in canola is keeping the seed pods stronger. So we're having less waste, we're losing less, and even we can harvest it because of that trait. We can harvest it in a way that uses less fuel.
Right.
And anytime that a crop, they'll look at disease tolerance. That's something that they can use breeding techniques like GMO to get into crop. And if the stronger and more resilient a plant is, that means we're spraying less, we'll probably have less field operations, and they produce more grain. So we're able to get more with less, and that's a huge game changer for sustainability. It's great for the environment.
Right, yeah, less pesticides, less fuel used, less money. Yeah, that all sounds beneficial.
It is.
So do you feel confident feeding your family canola oil?
I do. It's my go-to in the kitchen. I've got 2 little kids, so we put lots of food through the kitchen. We're busy feeding people, and I mean, I'm sure, as you know, it's really versatile. So it's easy to use. Canola oil is easy to work with, but it is healthy. And I mean, you have a young kid too, and you think a lot more about what you eat, right? When you're feeding little people. Yeah, my husband's a family doctor. I have a background in science as well in my education, and so when you have little people, like you care about what they eat, and it's a go-to for us. I know, of course, we grow it on the farm, and it's so fun for my kids to think of. They know that the canola oil we grow on the farm. Yeah. So it's so fun to build that connection for them, but also to know it's one of the healthiest choices for oils I could be making for my family. Right. And
you've really done the research, and you're following the science. Yeah.
You bet.
Awesome. Well, I've had a fantastic day here. I've learned so much, and I really appreciate, I know it's a busy time on the farm, so I really appreciate you showing us around.
Yeah, it was so great to have you. Thanks for coming out.
Cheers. I'm really excited to go cook with some canola now. Online, agriculture gets talked about like it's some giant faceless machine. But after today, it's hard for me not to see the human side of it. I came here expecting to investigate canola oil. I didn't expect to leave thinking more about the farmers. The bottom line is, nothing I've heard in my travels scares me away from using canola oil. I think a lot of the fear online seems to come from distance from food and understanding how modern agriculture actually works. There's no doubt we've become disconnected from the people who grow our food. And if anything, this experience has made me feel even better about using canola oil in my kitchen. It's affordable, versatile, easy to cook with, and most importantly, it's Canadian. Grown by caring farmers like Nicola on thousands of family farms across the prairies, contributing more than $43 billion to the Canadian economy every year. And honestly, what sticks with me most after today isn't just the oil, it's the people behind it. If you want to keep exploring this conversation, check out my interview with a registered dietitian and Laura's grocery store oil aisle breakdown. Those videos should be popping up right about now. Cheers.